Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. For those of you who are new here, I haven't done this in a while. I am Renee. I am a wife, a mom of 5, grandma to 8, first and foremost, and I am a fiber artist. I have been spinning yarn with both drop spindle and spinning wheel for over 20 years now, and I've been raising Angora rabbits for 20 years this year. And also I've had a mixed bag of different animals along the way. So I've had alpacas in the past. I had Pygora goats, which is, for those of you who don't know, those are pygmy Angora cross goats. And I now have Angora goats here at our farm. So that's a little bit about me. I've been doing this YouTube channel for quite a few years, but the last 2 years I've really focused on it and have enjoyed teaching. That's part of my passion, is teaching people about Angora rabbits and fiber arts and making yarn and all the yarny things. I have not even dipped my toes into some aspects of the yarn world, and just because I don't have time, it's so vast. But today I am hopping on. Today is Monday. March 30th. And I am hopping on today to do Monday afternoon's video. As you can hear, I've had a cold this week, and we've had back-to-back grandkids. So I had grandkids last week, and I have grandkids this week, and so I've shushed them down into the family room downstairs, and they are reading books while I get this video done. I almost took spring break myself, but I thought, you know what, I am not gonna take a spring break. There are a couple weeks coming up here where I have lots of things going on, and I might need that time off, and so I wanted to make sure I get at least one video in this week. So today I am hopping on to talk about different fibers that you might not think of spinning. And I've actually done only 2 that you wouldn't normally think of spinning. I do have a finished project with one of them. I did a skein of yarn. I'll try to find that picture. I have it somewhere to show you the other animal that I've used to spin yarn into, or spin into yarn. But today we're going to talk about dog hair. So the two odd, which they're not odd, but you tell people you're spinning cat fur and dog fur, and they look at you kind of funny. But I have done both cat and dog successfully. And our border collie Willow, which usually she is right here, she's over there. She sheds, of course, like all dogs, and so she has, and I did bring some of her fiber to show you. So she sheds and has that soft coat that a border collie would have. Collies and Great Pyrenees, anything that has fluff, you're going to be a golden retriever. You could do, excuse me. So I would not try to even attempt to spin our lab. She's got the short fur and it's very coarse, so that isn't something I would ever choose to spin. And maybe people have. I could see if you had enough, maybe blending it with something else, but I don't know what the structure would be on that. So anytime you're making fun yarns, art yarns, interesting yarns, you always want to make sure that that yarn has a structure to it that's going to hold. You don't want to just make yarn to make yarn and have it falling apart as you're going along. So I have today Willow's fur, and I'm going to show you a couple different things to do with it. So she is a black and white border collie, mostly black, but she does have a brown. This comes through as brown to me. She has a chocolate brown undercoat. And so this is what we're looking at when we're talking about Willow's coat. Let me see if I can show you. I'm going to hold a tip here. So, and I'm going to get as tip as I can in my fingers. And then I am going to pull. And that gives you about your staple length when you do that. So hopefully you can see that. In between my fingers is where the strands are. That's about how long her staple length is. And you can do that with any fiber. If you had a roving, which I happen to have here, You could do the same thing. You can grab a tip and just gently pull, and that's going to give you an idea of how long the staple length is on your fibers that you're spinning. I am going to pause and go get a glass of water because I am starting to cough and I don't want to do that to you. So just hold on. Okay, let's see if we can get through the rest of this video. So that's about how long the staple length is on Willow's fiber. And I actually have 3 of these bags that I've saved so far. Sometimes white does come out. You can see it right there. Sometimes the white comes through. So could I spin this just like this? I think so. We're going to try it. That's another video I want to do, talking about short fibers and long fibers and blending them and using them alone. How do you get good structure? That's a whole nother video, but I will spin some of this for you. Let me show you first a finished project. This one I did quite a few years ago. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I've had several different varieties of fiber animals over the years. So I've had alpacas, pygoras, angoras, and let's see, did I say alpacas, pygoras, angora goats, angora rabbits have been my go-to. The angora goats are newer to me within the last 2 years, or is it 3 years this summer? Must be 3 years this summer. So they are not in this, but this shawl is a compilation of all my fiber animals. So this is my alpaca, my pygora, my angora, and my puppy Willow. And this is what I did with it. So I dyed all the fiber. And you can see in this project, you see dark. That is Willow. That is what it comes through as. And like I said, I've had this for, I think I did this 3 or 4 years ago now. And I've worn this. Obviously, purple is my favorite color. So I have worn this quite a bit. And this is holding up beautifully. It doesn't really, so like Willow is through all, you can pretty much see it. This is, you can see sections, and I can tug at this and it's secure. So that's what I mean about a structure of your yarn being, so it's yarn and it stays together. That way you don't get any pilling, well, not any pilling, but pilling, shedding of your garments. People always ask, does an angora shed? Not if you spin it correctly, it does not. So this is the project that I made out of all of my animals that I had, and Willow is in this. I obviously did drum card all of the fibers. So my alpaca was in just bats. My pygora is in something that's called a cloud. That's how they process pygora fiber, and it's in a cloud and basically just a big puff of fiber. And then my angora was just raw, either clipped or combed from me. And I ran everything through the drum carder. I don't have any video of that because, like I said, this was like 4 years ago when I was not actively working on my channel then. So maybe at some point I will try to get, maybe that's a new video because I do have some of Willow's fiber sitting here. And I could card all of that for you to show you how I do that. There is a little bit of method to my madness, not always, but with this there is. I always put down the alpaca first because it's in long roving, so I can get a base layer in, and then we'll put the rest of the stuff in. Sometimes I put the angora on the top, and then I blended in the Willow fiber at the end. So maybe that's Friday's video. We will see how this week goes. But so that's the project. If I were to card, I think you could hand card this also. Again, I brought my purple roving, which we're just all matchy-matchy today. But with a hand carder, you could lay this out like this, and I would be a little bit, this would be great for a carding board also. So I would just pull this and lay a layer of it. This is kind of what I do on the drum carder. A little bit different process on the drum carder. It is a little bit easier. And then you would, let me get this combed in at least once so it's fully on the one card side. So I've got it right there, except for that piece. So everything's kind of pushed in. And then I would take my dog, or cat. I've done cat before. That was a skein of yarn for friends at church, grandson that have this big, beautiful, fluffy cat, and they brought me a bag, and I spun that into a whole skein of yarn, and that's the picture that I will try to put up here. So all I'm going to do is the exact same motion that I did with the purple, and I'm going to push it into the little teeth on here. And so with my base layer, I have got that down. That's a little bit longer. Remember, that one was about this long. Willow's is about that long. And then I'm just going to hand part it. So this would be, you don't need a drum carder to do this. Drum carders are expensive. Someone had commented on one of my videos. I have one good, it's actually the bar of our kitchen bar, island, whatever you want to call it. And my drum carder attaches really great to that depth. I have hooks that hook in. A lot of my tables and stuff and other counters where I could hook my drum carder up are curved, or they have etching in them on the edge of the table. And so I have one spot, and sometimes I don't always use it. Sometimes I plop my drum carder downstairs where I keep all my supplies, and I film a video, and someone commented and said, you really need to attach that to a table. And I'm like, I know, I'm terrible. And then someone else, I think, or maybe it was the same person, said you should get an electric one. And I'm like, I would love to, but they are expensive. So that would be one of my dream purchases, would be an electric drum carder. I watch those videos on Instagram where people are just making yarn, and it just, oh, it's so lovely. So that is one pass with just the purple, and then just a pass with the puppy, Willow. And so I could just take this off. This is not how you're supposed to take a real leg off, and I could spin it just like this. So she's blended in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip. Actually, I think I'm going to put my camera on the front of me, flip you guys around, and I'm going to show you how I spin this. Hold tight. Okay, guys, I have my Spinolution Polywog here. I have a half full bobbin, and I have, let me get her set. I have fiber in my hand. Let me get her set up real quick, though. Oops, just a minute. Okay, I had to play with my tension. I think a grandbaby was playing with it, maybe. So, in our house, my wheels are always out, and sometimes I forget with little hands here, I need to put them away. So I adjusted the tension, and I am going to, I got started. When you are spinning short fibers, you are going to do more of a worsted type spinning, which is a whole nother video, where you are really using your fingers. You do want just a touch of extra twist when it comes to short fibers, but not too much. You don't want it overspun either. So, and I am just, and remember the purple was a little bit longer. I'm trying to, I know these videos are always difficult. I'm trying to see what I'm spinning and film at the same time. So let me get to a point where there's a little bit more willow fiber in here. And you can see it spinning up. Whoops. There we go. This would be some fun art yarn. You would want to spin it tight enough that you had structure, but again, that's all it takes to do. That's a lot of willow right there that's going in. There's some of the purple. So that is how I would spin a bat with short fibers in it. Let's try spinning just the short fibers with just the dog fiber, the Border Collie. And I'm going to hold this in my left hand. That's how I spin. You may spin opposite of me. I feel like I spin opposite of most people. Most people hold let's see, I can't even do it. Hold in their right and direct with their left, where I hold with my left and direct with my right. Not everybody, but I feel like more people do it the other way. So we're going to get this attached. And I am going to keep my thumbs close. And this is going to be more of a thread-like yarn. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do. It's really not difficult. Now keep in mind, willow fiber Border Collie is soft, but it's not, this feels a bit coarse in my hands. So that's why I like blending it with other things. This might be a little bit scratchy all by itself. And yeah, as you can see, it spins up beautifully. And it was only probably an inch, if that. I just kind of keep it in my hand as a big clump. Now let's pull out and see what the yarn would look like. And there you go. You can see that, I think. So that is Border Collie. Okay, guys, that's what I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will probably end up filming, now I have 2 videos to film. I am going to film spinning short fibers, which I will use this as an example again in that, but I do have a few out of my box that I had from my last video that are pretty short fibers. I talked about them a little bit, so we'll pull some of those out and just I'll show you how to spin short fibers for a yarn. Make sure you have structure and everything like that. And then probably for Friday's Fiber Friday video, I will be doing a carding video with Border Collie. I have some alpaca, I have some pygora, I have lots of stuff I could spin. So maybe we'll do some fun, drum card. So we'll do some fun drum carding, and I'll show you how to do the layers for different things. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope you get to create something today. Bye.